Okay, guys. This video is really fucking important. You gotta watch this to understand why you just cannot keep engaging with financial markets the way that you probably have in the past and the way that pretty much everyone else is doing right now and consistently losing money with. You gotta watch this video to be able to understand why you cannot participate that way anymore. Okay, this is more evil than you can even imagine. This is more fucked up than you will believe. But I'm gonna try to cut this down to the simplest possible way I can for you and help you get back on track. Okay, so even if you don't qualify for our program to be, and even if you don't qualify, this will help you fundamentally get back on the right track to how to extract profits from financial markets, even if you're not going to work with this. Okay, so listen to me. First, we got to understand, what is a market? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a place where buyers and sellers come together to exchange, right? One guy has something he want to sell and another guy have something that he want to buy, and these two guys meet in a place where they can do that transaction. But if we look at the core, okay, back in the days, we had people and they were farmers, or maybe they had a small restaurant, or they had to make it simple, we'll just say that this guy was a sheep farmer, okay? And he had sheep. Now, excuse me, my my sheep abilities, my abilities to draw sheeps are not amazing, okay? So this is a sheep, even if it's an alien sheep. This is very much a sheep. Fuck, it looks bad. All right, let me just see if I can. So this guy was a sheep farmer, and he was, a shepherd or whatever they called, and they grow their sheep and so on. But eventually, he would need to buy some food for his sheep or his family or for his farm or whatever. He had a need. So what he would do is he would take his sheep and he would go find a neighbor, or he would go find someone he could sell his sheep to in exchange for something that he needed. Milk, money, whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? So another guy, and again, the sizes doesn't really align 100%, right? But another guy, he had some currency and he wanted to buy the sheep. And these two guys could fundamentally do business, whether they were neighbors or they just met. One guy needed a sheep, another guy had a sheep. They did a business, right? So that is the original transactions. That is the original market. A guy who has something, sells it for something he needs. That's it. Now, what happened somewhere along the lines was that sometimes this guy over here, he didn't need the sheep, but this guy still needed to sell his sheep. But this guy already bought 5 sheep this month. He was like, I can't take any more sheep. It's like, it's too much, my friend. You're gonna have to go find someone else who can buy your sheep. So he's like, okay. And since sheep is a pretty good commodity, there's a lot of people who need sheep. He would go to a marketplace, and this would probably be a big city or something like this. And here he could hopefully, in the marketplace, just put him, he could hopefully bring his sheep and put it in, and someone else could buy it from him. But sometimes there just were no people available to buy his goddamn sheep, so he couldn't sell it at the price he really wanted. And instead, what he needed to do was he needed to find a new guy. This guy. Because this guy had both money, but he also had sheep. And he is what you can call a middleman, a market maker. Because he knew the value of sheep. He knew what he could sell a sheep for. But he also knew when a guy came to him and wanted to sell his sheep in distress, it's because he needed to sell it today. Because he had a need to get that equity, that commodity, that animal converted into value, so he could buy some milk or some medicine for his wife, or whatever his need was. So there would be times where they would come to these middlemen and they would get quoted a really bad price for their sheep. Maybe they wouldn't even make money on this sheep. They wouldn't have a choice. It's like, are you gonna sell your sheep or are you gonna let your wife die? Okay, I'm gonna sell the sheep. The wife is gonna get mad if I don't sell the sheep. And he would sell it, but he wouldn't get what he really wanted for it. And this is what these people here in the middle realized. They realized that these guys could position themselves in the market where they had an opportunity to take advantage of distressed buyers or sellers, whether they were looking to sell a sheep or they were looking to buy a sheep. Maybe it was the other way. Some guy came to him and say, hey, I really need to buy a sheep today, but there's no sheep available. And I have a big dinner, you know, I got the uncle coming and the family, and it's going to be summer party, and we don't have the goddamn sheep, and we need to grill this lamb, you know. You get the point. And the middleman would be, okay, that's interesting. So you need a sheep, huh? Just happens to be I got one sheep left today, but I really needed this sheep for something else. You know, I was not looking to sell this sheep. This is my last sheep. It's actually my best sheep. And I'm not really looking to sell this sheep today. I don't really want to sell my sheep today. And the distressed buyer would be like, I need this goddamn sheep. If I don't get my sheep, it is over. Family is gonna hate me. I'm gonna get booted out the family. I'm gonna ruin the summer family dinner for the whole thing, and the king is coming, whatever, you know. He's like, he needed the goddamn sheep. He will pay whatever fucking price it costs to buy the sheep today. And the middleman was, okay, so you can pay me $700 for the sheep. And usually the price for a sheep is $400. He was like, that's crazy, but that's the price. And so he would agree to buy the sheep at $700, getting completely ripped off, but his need was higher than the cost of the sheep. And this, my ladies and gentlemen, is the function of the middleman and their ability to extract profits. So that is the legacy version of this. This is how it all worked before it all got electronic, you know, before financial markets transformed into what they were today. It was face-to-face, you know, transactions, my sheep for your thing or whatever, you know. But today it's a very different fucking world. And you can probably imagine this is how it has been for thousands of years as I've evolved, but it's always been the same. You have a buyer, you have a seller, and you have a middleman, right? If I cannot find a buyer, if I cannot find a buyer for my sheep at the price that I want, then I cannot sell my sheep. And if I need to sell my sheep today, that's terrible. You know, that's not good. So hopefully this makes sense. I'm going to explain to you how this evolved into the electronic markets, because what happened was, as time went on, as the world, you know, as the world became what it is today, with all the electronics and all these submarine cables that connects the entire world and the internet, and has become this financial marketplace that, you know, looks like this today. You know, this is what it looks like, right? Like, this is just how you look at it today. This is the view. This is what it is today, okay? But as people started to notice that these guys, these middlemen, were really selling a lot of sheep sometimes. Like, sometimes these guys would sell a lot of sheep because, you know, everyone needed to have their summer dinner at the same time, and they're all serving lamb or whatever, you know. It's like they noticed, other people noticed that during this time of the year, there's a massive demand for sheep, and maybe I can actually make some money on this. Even though I don't own any sheep, at this point, I don't even have an interest in sheep. All I know about sheep is that during July of year 1240, the price of sheep goes from 350 to 700 because everyone needs sheep at the same time, and there's never enough sheep. So what can I do? Well, maybe I can buy some sheep during, you know, 2 months or 1 month before the sheep price goes up. And then when all these people need sheep, I will sell my sheep for double the price. Sounds fucking great, no? That, my friend, is speculation. And that is what came after this. One thing is, maybe you could do it back in the days, but you would have to buy the sheep and, you know, carry the sheep and feed the sheep and make sure it survived until summer when everyone else needed the sheep. And that was the function. And eventually this transformed into the electronic markets that we know today. It's the same thing, you know. It's like you can, I bet you can buy a sheep on some contract somewhere. Now, the speculators became a very big part of this. It became a very big... It was essentially gambling. It was the first version of gambling, where people had a way to directly gamble based on these markets that existed. And that hasn't gone away. Maybe it used to be somewhat fair and you could do your speculation somewhat, but today it's totally fucked up. It's totally fucked. It's rotten to the core. It's so fucked. You have no fucking idea. Because the way that people speculate today is not the way that they did it back then. Back then they would buy the sheep, hold on to the sheep, sell the sheep, right? Come on, that's a fair business. You can't really shame a man for doing that. That's fair, you know, but today it's totally fucked up. This marketplace, you know, this marketplace where everyone would take their sheep and the buyers of sheep and the sellers of sheep would meet, evolved into this financial marketplace that we have today, where it's connected and you can sit from your home and you can buy or you can sell an asset or you can speculate on it, right? And that is what it has become today. But the problem is that these guys, they are a lot smarter today than they were back then. And they have access to, I would call it, almost inhuman technology that they've been using against these speculators in the financial markets for many, many years now. Probably 40 or 50 years. And the problem is that the speculation today has been taken to the extreme. So the way people speculate today is, you know, instead of like anticipating sheep price is going to go up in 6 months, they're like, oh, I anticipate that this is going to go up in 1 minute, and it can, you know, next minute, and it can sometimes, for sure, you know, there can be a sudden demand, so can, but at the end of the day, people really fuck up when they speculate today because of the electronics and the instant gratifications and the you know, the dopamine response and all this. It's totally fucked up, totally messed up. And we have the middlemen, which I will call the market makers from now on. I wouldn't say these guys are what, you know, is the reason behind that people lose money. I wouldn't say that. They are not the one. It's more that the speculation business, the trading industry itself, of what it has become, the trading industry is so perverse and disgusting because all they do is attracting people today to financial markets to get them to trade, to speculate, because they know with 99.9% guarantee that these people coming in to speculate will get wiped out. It's such a fucked up environment that everyone loses in, basically, except for basically the three core entities that belong in the financial markets. The speculators don't fucking belong in the financial markets. They don't. They are just tourists. So let me go back to that. Because what is an electronic marketplace today? Okay, I'm gonna try to describe this to you. I want you to understand the simplicity of it, because everyone is applying all this technical analysis, all these crazy tools, applying all these crazy things to try to find out what's going on in the financial market. But it's fucking simple. But I'm gonna explain it to you right now. Let's take an example. Okay, this is, it could be any market. It doesn't matter if it's Euro USD or it's Apple stock or Bitcoin or whatever. It's the same. Okay. So here we have Euro USD, and you can see this thing has been going up and down in price, and that's pretty much it. That's all we can say for this. It's just the price has been going up and down. But I want you to try to understand what's actually behind Euro USD. Like, what is actually behind this market? What makes it go up and down in price? Like, what is the core driver behind this? So let me try to go back to my drawing board, okay? So I want you to think about Euro USD, okay? We're gonna put it here. All right, so I want you to think about Euro USD like a simple marketplace. And what Euro USD essentially is we have people with Euro, and then we have people. So we have people with Euro and we have people with USD. And these people might need to convert their currency to the other one, okay? And what really takes place is that in these financial markets, all of them, it doesn't matter if it's Apple stock or it's Bitcoin or it's Forex, but we'll use Forex because it's an easy example to understand. There are some people that belong in this marketplace that has a fundamental need to execute and be part of this marketplace, okay? These, for example, in Euro USD, these are corporations, these are banks, these are hedge funds, these are countries, these are all kind of entities around the world that has one of these two currencies and need to convert it to the other one. And it can be for all kind of reasons. It could be, it could be that you are a company in Europe, you make all your money in Europe, all the money that your company processes happens in Euro, but you actually have a US division where you have engineers, you have production, you have a bunch of stuff. But in USD, in United States, they use US dollars. So you have all this Euro that you need to convert into US dollars as a fundamental need for your US operation to work. It's not speculation. These are people that need to convert the money into USD. The same way you have people with USD that needs Euro. So if you just forget the speculators, okay? You have the buyer and you have the seller, and they come together in the Euro USD marketplace to exchange. And the question is just that, how good a price can they get? Because if I'm gonna exchange my Euro to USD and it's like, let's say $100 million or $500 million, well, I don't really want to lose the value in my currency just because I need to convert it. That's even 1% of a $100 million order is large. That's $1 million I'm gonna lose just to do the conversion if it's 1%. And I'm gonna have to explain. I'm gonna have to explain to my senior officials in the company that hey guys, it cost me $1 million to move our profits to USA. It's fucking stupid. So what I do is that when I have this need to move 100 million euro into USD, I'm gonna be as smart as possible to get that conversion at the best price possible. I can either do it myself, or I can just ask my bank to do it for me. So I'll call my bank and say I have 100 million euro, I need USD so I can pay my staff. But on my operation USA, and they'll say, okay, cool, we'll do it for you. And we'll not only do it for you, we'll give you the USD right here now. Here, take it. You can take it right now if you want. Because these guys know that they can convert this order into USD at a profit compared to the result I would get. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I'll take that. I'll take those 100 million euro converted to USD, and I'll have it in my bank tomorrow, in my US bank tomorrow, and I can use it. Great. Sounds great. Let's do it. And what happens after that is that the bank, I might not be the only client. Maybe there's like 5 other clients, or maybe there's 10, or maybe there's 100, or maybe there's 1,000 clients like me that needs 100 million euro converted to USD today. So what the bank will do is that they will aggregate all of these USD that they have already sold to their clients. They now have all this euro that they need to do something with, either convert it, or maybe they have a demand for euro from another client that they can, bridge that gap. But let's just say that they need to just stay neutral. They don't want to carry too much euro because they sold the USD, and if the value of USD goes up compared to the euro, then they are in trouble, right? So what these people will do is deploy advanced buying or selling algorithms in the marketplace to execute this order and get the best price for their bank possible. The cheaper they can do this, the cheaper the bank can do this conversion, the more money they will make from the transaction that they have already performed with me and already sold me, right? So it's their best interest to execute this in the best way possible. I'm sorry this already became a little bit advanced, but these are a guy with a fundamental need in the market that's different from speculators that's just speculating on where the price is going to go. Because all the speculators are doing is that they try to anticipate that this bank is going to need to move $100 million or 10, huge amount of numbers into USD from euro, and they try to anticipate when they're going to do it. And they use all these crazy techniques to try to find out. They use like star patterns, they use Fibonacci, they use all kind of like ways of trying to like speculate on like where's the price going to go. Now you should understand that there's entities in the market that has a fundamental need to use the marketplace. Like they have a legitimate use of the marketplace with a legitimate purpose. And this is really important to understand, because they don't care, because next week they're gonna have another 100 million euro they need to convert to USD, and after that another, again and again. And they're not the only one. And there's many people like this, many clients like this, that have fundamental need in the marketplace to execute and use it. And then there's all these other guys, that speculators, that don't have a fundamental need. Their fundamental need is to make money. The client's fundamental need is the currency. They don't really care about making money from this transaction or whatever. They care about getting what they need. They're not trying to make money from this. The client is just trying to get what he needs for his business in USA. And all these speculators are sitting on the sidelines just watching this, like, oh, what's going to happen next? Where is this? Who's going to buy next? Who's going to sell next? And try to anticipate it and use 100x leverage to try to make money from a quick buy or sell or something. It's fucking stupid. Imagine a small city, okay? And up here we have this is a bakery, and over here we have a grocery store, something like this, and over here we have like it could be like a shoe shop, and then in here we have a restaurant, right? Okay, excuse again my drawings, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want you to imagine that this is Euro USD, and all of these different small entities have a legitimate use inside of the marketplace, because this is like a small harmonic city where everything usually just works based on the supply and demand available. This is just a small little city that usually, the bakery knows how many people buy bread every day and how much they sell usually, so that's how much they produce. And the same way, the other bakeries, they also know how much they usually sell, so they just produce what they can sell. But then sometimes a buyer comes in and wants to buy all of it, for whatever reason. It doesn't matter what is the reason, but they buy all of it because they need. And then what happens is that the price goes up. So I'm trying to tell you is that each of these financial markets are like a harmonic marketplace, where there is a certain supply and demand available of goods. And once people start buying a lot more than that's available, the price increases. Naturally. It's a natural effect because humans are greedy. The point of the story is that in all these financial markets, right? And there's so many of them, right? In all of these financial markets, there is a certain harmonic balance available of the supply and demand. And this is very important to understand, because fundamentally all markets are just trying to get back to the harmonic balance of where they were. Because the next day, the big guy who came in and he bought all the bread and whatever, he's gone, he's out, and the city will just go back to its normal form. It will just go back to its normal form with the usual buyers and the usual sellers, and it will just take a normal form where it's just in balance. It's just a harmony. It's just the buyers and the sellers that match each other. The market is not going anywhere. It's just these guys are just interacting with each other, and they have and they need the marketplace every single day because they have fundamental need in the marketplace for whatever reason, for whatever is their business. So the market will just come back to its natural state. But when we have a big buyer coming into town and trying to buy everything that is available, the price will increase. And let's say that this big buyer keeps coming into the marketplace and buying every day instead of just once. But let's say he keeps coming in and he keeps buying every day and he keeps buying a lot more than that's available. The price will fundamentally increase. The bakery will see, oh, this guy is still in town. Okay, this guy is still in town. Okay, well, tomorrow I sold my bread. Yesterday I sold my bread way too cheap and I should really increase the price. And if I increase the price, I can make more profit. I can hire more people. I can produce more bread. I can better meet the demand of this guy. But it takes a little bit of time, right? So when you see these financial markets and you see something like this, it is fundamentally a big buyer coming in, having a demand in an urgency, in an urgent manner. And it doesn't matter who the buyer is. What matters is their impact on the financial market. Because when these guys come in and they have a big fundamental need to buy this asset, a lot of times it will look exactly like this, where it just goes up and straight up because the buyer is still in town. Because what you will see is that in the city, is that the guys will notice this big buyer, right? So this is what happens in these financial marketplaces, and it goes both ways. They also, it's the same story but with selling. And that's when you get these moves like this, where markets just go straight up in a line for days. There is a consistent buyer and he keeps buying for whatever reason. He needs this asset. He needs to buy it. And of course, I'm not the first one observing this. The whole point of this is that the speculators has been observing this for so long and trying to anticipate and use different technical analysis, different tools, Elliott wave, TD mark, and like all these different strategies to try to do this trick where they notice a big guy coming in and wants to buy a lot, and they buy it earlier than him, hoping that they can sell it to him in the future. And this is fine. But the problem is that the technology they're using for this is like monkeys with a stick compared to very advanced technology that is already in the marketplace to make it an efficient marketplace. Because you can't do this. You can't do this trick where you wake up earlier and buy earlier than this guy just to sell it to him later. You can't do that because you can't raise the price of the market unless you are a big boy. Because even though I set my price down here, which is 10% higher than this, if these guys over here are still selling at the original price, then this is stupid. Because this guy, instead of coming to me, he will just go down here and do his inventory shopping. And then I will be stuck here with bread, stale bread, that I bought because I thought this guy was gonna buy from me. But there's so many other people that has bread available, so it doesn't work. So what happens is that people use these speculative tools to try to be ahead of the market and try to anticipate what's gonna happen and position themselves accordingly to what's gonna happen so they can profit from it. The problem is that the tools that they're using to do this are terrible. They're not just terrible, they don't work, but people think it works. And the reason they think it works is because there is a trading, there's a international, there's a worldwide trading industry that has made it a business to attract these guys, these speculators that think they can use simple tools to predict or to read what these big buyers or sellers are gonna do. That's gonna really move the market. And it doesn't fucking work. Maybe it works once, but so does flipping a coin, guessing which side it's gonna land, right? But the problem is, in the long run, all of these methods that they are using to speculate with are just inefficient, and they're just not technological enough advanced to make it happen. Second part of it is that humans' greed and the human problems that we have as a species and so on is just not equipped to deal with this. So how do we make money from this? The way we make money from this, going back to this guy, the middleman, also what I will call the market maker. And this guy alone is not gonna affect the sheep industry, you know, the price of sheep or whatever. He's just one guy, but maybe just as a single guy, he can just make a little bit of money for himself. You know, instead of selling the sheep at 700, let's say he bought it for 350, maybe he can sell it for 400 with ease. And he can do it again. He can buy a sheep for 350 and he can sell it for 400, and he can do that again and again and again. And that is really just a middleman business. That is just a market making business. That is the same thing that we apply in Nero. We're not trying to set the price of the market. We are not trying to set the price of the bread. We are not trying to set the price of AUD New Zealand dollar. We're not trying to predict if a big buyer is gonna come into town and buy a lot. So it's not how we operate. We operate on a very small time frame where we can see these buyers or sellers come online using our advanced technology, the same advanced technology that Rentec and hedge funds has been using for the past 40 years. And we can use this not to make like long-term positions of, you know, Apple stock is going to go up 300%, or Bitcoin is going to go up this much, or Euro is going to, no. Just enough to find, what can you say? Just enough to find inefficiencies in the market where we know that there's a big guy available that has been active and is still active and is buying every single day all the bread that is available. But instead of us trying to say, oh, well, if he keeps buying the bread, you know, this is what speculators do. If he's buying bread at this price today and he's going to keep buying all this bread, then the bakery in 2 weeks from now, their price of bread is going to be about this price. It's going to be increased by 50% or whatever. That's what the speculators try to do. They try to figure out, where is this guy gonna stop buying at what price, and where is it gonna be if he keeps buying for the next weeks? Like, where is the price of bread gonna be then, right? And based on where that price is gonna be of bread, I'm gonna hold on to my bread until the bread is at the highest fucking possible price possible, and then I'm gonna sell my bread. I'm not gonna sell my bread until it's the best fucking price possible. This is what the speculators do, and this is how they get trapped, because their technology is not advanced and good enough to accurately predict how much the guy is gonna buy, when he's gonna be gone, and so on. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So what we have realized is that the marketplace, sorry, that's not a great circle. That's a little bit better. So what we have realized is that the marketplace consists, I would say, 70%, 80% is probably more like 80%, right? Of everyone that is engaged in this marketplace, online marketplace, most of them has real business there, real business. But what can you say? To make sure that everyone participating in this marketplace get the best price possible and make it as efficient as possible, and make sure there's always sheep, there's always bread available, it's a, you know, advanced society, there's always this is always available to people, so they can always buy and sell, they can always get the sheep they need, they can always get the bread they need. It's just a question of how much they're gonna pay and so on. To do this and to make this marketplace so efficient and make it such a streamlined process of buying and selling, we have deployed so many of these guys that's just looking to take the sheep and sell it for a slight profit, because they can get the sheep and they can get a buyer and they can match these two, and they can take a small fee, they can take a small percentage for doing this honest business where they help connect a buyer with a seller. I know this video doesn't exactly show you why these speculators lose so hard, But I hope you understand that it's because they don't have sufficient technology to really be able to extract the information that they need to do speculation properly. Because it doesn't fucking work. So to summarize, guys, the marketplace has transformed from its ancient days where people had sheep and they needed something else and they would convert it, and became a marketplace. And in the marketplace, people figured out that sometimes they could operate as middlemen and make money on it. This then transformed into the electronic marketplaces that we have today, where there is still fundamental needs that needs to be covered in, for example, forex markets with Euro USD, where corporations or businesses or whatever need to convert their money into another currency. And this will happen in the financial markets. The banks will execute it, right? And as they execute this order, it shows up in the financial marketplace, and you can see it like this. During this whole transformation of the marketplace into this digital age, there has become a massive amount of speculators that apply all kind of wacky, crazy, non-working methods to predict these large buyers and sellers that's active in the market. And it doesn't work. None of it works. It doesn't work. It can have like short-term, it can work like short-term or whatever, but it doesn't work long-term. You cannot be a speculator to that capacity, especially not the way that it works in financial markets today, where you just market buy with max leverage and hope it goes your way. It's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we know it doesn't work because we've seen the data, and I have looked personally at data of over 100,000 people trading, and it doesn't work. What does work is that you can set up a business inside of these marketplaces where you can make a little bit of money whenever you have a large buyer in town that is confirmed. You know, he's here, he's buying a lot, there's a big need, he keeps buying. And you can show up and you can be functional and you can be helpful and you can help this guy buy or sell, and you can participate, you can give him what he needs, and you can take a small amount of profit. But the second that you turn this into directional trades, meaning that instead of just buying here and selling here, and you start turning this into directional trades where you're saying like, oh, okay, so now the price is like, the price is up here, I think it's gonna dump down here, so I'm gonna short like this, and that's gonna be my trade. I'm gonna short this here because I think the guy's done buying, but I honestly don't know shit if this guy's done buying, and I have no fucking clue. But I think he's done buying, so I'm gonna bet that he's done, and then it's gonna go down. That is speculation. That's not grounded in anything. That's just people pulling shit off their ass. They have no fucking idea what they're doing. And what I'm telling you is that this doesn't work, and it doesn't work whatever fucking MACD, crossover, EMA, moving averages, golden cross, fucking TD mark, Elliott wave, bullshit, fuck your cook up. It doesn't fucking work. Because even if your strategy was fucking solid and it worked, you couldn't fucking execute it because you're a lousy human who's not equipped for this shit. And you will lose. You will make a mental error. You will lose. And because your mind is bound up in this speculation idea, you know, you're completely useless as a person. You're not providing any value to society at all. You're just sitting on your ass and speculating a price is gonna go up and down. Okay? That's not the way to make fucking money from these financial markets. That's not the fucking way. The way to make money in these financial markets is to be useful, is to provide value to the marketplace, to help the buyers and sellers better perform, better execute their transactions. The fundamental buyers that's in the marketplace that I talked to you about, the people who has the real need in these markets, that's where you position yourself, and you put up your own little shop. If this guy's buying a lot of bread, then you start buying bread and selling to him, okay? That's the way it works. So what we do in Nero is fundamentally different. We set up shop and we simply engage with the market where Nero shows us to engage, and then we buy and we sell very quickly. All we are waiting for is that this big boy is active and our algorithms has confirmed it, operating on a microsecond, The buyer is confirmed. We know he's active. We know he's buying. We know they have this need. And all we are waiting for is just stupid fucking idiots, speculators that think this shit is gonna turn around or whatever and go down. And then we simply take their money. Because what they will do is that they will do stupid shit like selling into support where this buyer is active. And they will keep losing because they can't help themselves. And what we do instead is that we position ourselves on the right side of history and making the marketplace more efficient. This has been going on for years, where market makers like us have recognized that we can just work with the buyers and sellers in the market and just help them do their business and make a little bit of money from it. Actually, make a lot of money from it when you do it long enough. Instead of trying to speculate where the price is going to go, we can just help it. And then the funny thing is that the rest of the market, the speculators, all they do is keep making mistakes because they don't have sufficiently advanced technology to determine when they should actually be buying or selling. Oh, there's a little bit of a rant, guys. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to put yourself on the right side of history, and you can make a very good living by just helping these markets become more efficient. So when there's a guy that's selling down here straight into the active buying algorithm from the bank that's executing the order from the client, it's not that hard. We just detect the buying algorithms that's active from the banks and the hedge funds, and we position ourselves accordingly. And that is what Nero does. Nero constantly shows us the strength of these different buying algorithms on the different time frames. So we know, for example, right now on AUD New Zealand dollar, we can see we have this support here, and this is 42%. So we have a buying algorithm active right now at 42%. At the same time, here on 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, we have a buying algorithm at 25%, and down here we have it at 17%. And the point is that we can see in the trend index across all the time frames where the buying algorithms are active and how active they are. And then all we're waiting for is really just a seller, either speculator or real seller, to come in and overflow the current demand that is in the market temporarily, because whatever they needed to sell right now, it doesn't matter what they need to sell. We're waiting for them to temporarily come into the marketplace in marketplaces where we have a confirmed buyer that's detected by our AI and our algorithms. We're waiting for the seller to come in and panic sell either them or the speculators, because all the speculators, they're fucking stupid, and just overflow the existing demand that currently is and let people sell, because the more they sell in a hurry, the worse a price they're gonna get, and the better price we are gonna get at buying it. And then all we have to do is just wait. Not that we are gonna move the price up. We're not gonna move the price. The people who are gonna move the price up are Rentech, Renaissance Technologies, hedge funds, banks, all the people that has these current active buying algorithms active, that needs to fulfill a demand for their client because their client has a fundamental need in the marketplace. It's not speculation. Okay? We just align ourselves with these guys because these guys they own, okay, 80 or 90% of the marketplace. And then over here you have the stupid people, the speculators that do all kind of stupid shit. And whenever they sell against us, we don't have to worry because we are aligned with everyone else. Rentech, all the big boys, they're all on our side. We're all on that side. The disgusting thing I wanted to conclude with this video is that these guys over here realized that we could turn trading industry into this massive, complex world where you could promise people riches if they came and did speculation. But in the end of the day, all the speculations were doing was feeding us market makers, giving us their money, literally, legally taking the money from them because they keep doing stupid shit, because they're using basic technology that doesn't work. Meanwhile, we over here using AI, machine learning, advanced technology that they cannot even possibly imagine how good it is. And the disgusting thing I was talking about is that this has allowed to happen for so many years. So many people has been sucked into trading to speculate and lose all their money because it doesn't matter which strategy they apply. It doesn't fucking work to speculate in financial markets with leverage like this. The only way to consistently extract money from the financial marketplace is to set up a shop and do business with the boys that's in town. I hope this video helped. I know it's a little bit long, but I really needed to just start getting this out there to people to help them understand, because this is it's like it's fucking stupid what people are doing. It's fucking stupid. It doesn't work, and they have no idea, because they're being told on Instagram, they're being told on YouTube and so on that they read a MACD guide or they take a trading course or whatever, and they can go speculate and they can make money from it. It's fucking stupid. It pisses me off. So even if you don't get approved to be part of our program, I hope this video helps you understand that you cannot just speculate in the financial marketplace. It doesn't work. You can get lucky, and that's what happens to many people. They get lucky on something, you know. People can also win the lottery and so on. But the thing is, a lot of people, they start trading, they get lucky with the first trade, the second trade. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're just like, oh wow, I can make money from this online thing. It's amazing. They stream. I can travel the world and I can just trade from my laptop and have an amazing life. It's much better than my deadbeat job. And they lean into it and they get into it and suddenly they lose all their money and they have no fucking idea what happened. While in reality, they were not mentally equipped. They didn't understand the situation in front of them. They didn't understand that they have been drawn into this trading industry by all these influencers, all these brokers, all these programs around the world to get people to trade. To get people to trade against advanced technology. So advanced technology that you cannot possibly imagine. So advanced technology that we can say with 99% probability that when you put on a trade, you're gonna fucking lose. So the only way, guys, is to set up your own shop. So I'm hoping this video helped you understand. And in the following videos, we're gonna deep dive into the new strategy and how to make it work for you. But this is the fundamentals of the market that you need to understand in order to even have a chance to move forward. So you can forget this speculation. You can forget that money you made in the past from speculation. You can stop, and you can understand it was never meant to be. It was a trap. It was a trap for you to lose all your money. And I'm disgusted, honestly, that we let this happen to humans. It shouldn't be, because the people that you're trading against, how advanced that technology is, cannot possibly imagine. It was a long one, but thank you for watching.